The blood-soaked world of Saw is back with its newest installment. Is this the summer movie season starting out with a bang or a bust? Let's find out. Spiral: The Book of Saw is the newest installment in the Saw franchise and is helmed by Darren Lynn Bousman, which marks his fourth entry into the series. With John Kramer long dead, a new killer arises to continue the legacy of Jigsaw with grisly traps and sinister motivation. With the release of what was at the time the seemingly last entry into the franchise with the 7th installment, Saw: The Final Chapter, Lionsgate has doubled down on making sure their original cash cow never stopped. And just like Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, the killings had honestly just begun. Since the 2010 film, the Saw train has kept on rolling with the first Saw soft reboot, Jigsaw, back in 2017, which cashed in at over $100 million at the box office, which, surprise surprise, encouraged Lionsgate to keep pumping out those sequels and a rumored TV show. But with Spiral, it's clear that the studio isn't satisfied with continuing to churn out the same movie over and over again, and instead we are treated to a new mysterious villain with new motivations, but still managing to give bloodthirsty genre fans all the carnage that they flock to the theaters to see again and again. The story goes like this. You have Detective Zeke Banks, who's portrayed by Chris Rock, and he is a homicide detective who has been shunned by his precinct for turning in a dirty cop. So when corrupt officers start turning up mutilated in some familiar gruesome traps, he has to watch his every step so he can find this bloodthirsty killer. Now, Chris Rock is not just featured as the main hero of this film, instead he is also an executive producer on this movie, which by all accounts he kind of just fell into when he expressed interest in making another Saw film to a Lionsgate executive while attending a wedding. And at this time, it's unclear whether this film is going to be the launching off point for a new series of films following either this detective or others like him, but the title The Book of Saw would lead us to believe that there are other chapters that have not been discovered, a la Halloween 3. And if that is the case, then Spiral may just be experiencing some growing pains as it ventures into a new direction, one that has been established by a film that honestly is pretty tonally unsure of itself, and a script that isn't as interesting as it thinks it is, not for the lack of trying though. Because there's something admirable about Spiral, which is maybe what has it stand as a bit of a step above its predecessors in the franchise. The film contains all of the elements that most fans have come to associate with the series up to this point. Grisly traps meant to inspire those to change their ways, a mysterious plot, and a twist ending to tie it all together. But the secret ingredient that Spiral attempts to have is an admirable, if not overly simplified, social motif, and with its plot surrounding someone punishing corrupt police officers, I don't really think that I need to spell out to you what the themes at play are here, particularly in today's climate. Unsurprisingly though, in a series that's main draw is mostly, hey, I wonder how many limbs are going to be severed in this one, nuance isn't really this franchise's forte. And it's a frankly pretty outdated perspective on a topic that literally could not be more relevant, which honestly makes the film feel even more dated than this franchise already is. It is a notable effort by the writers and presumably Chris Rock, because horror is a genre that has never shied away from discussing important issues, but it is unfortunate, applaudable, but unfortunate that it just doesn't work here. Ushering along this path is a surprising turn from Chris Rock, who portrays the hard-nosed detective who's on the case. Now, although I'm glad to see that he's had the opportunity to be a part of a franchise that he is clearly a fan of, I've got to say that Chris Rock is a weird choice here. At best, he gives a frankly forgettable performance, who isn't the most believable tough guy detective, and at worst, he regresses into an honestly pretty familiar version of Chris Rock that almost comes off as if he is workshopping some new bits for his stand-up. I mean, that's how we're introduced to this character, is him talking about Forrest Gump, and it's like he's doing a set at the Improv. I don't know, man. It's a weird choice. But again, I've got to give this movie props for an attempt to be made, and in its attempt to give audiences something different. Now, there's clearly an influence on this movie by David Fincher's Seven, which goes about as well as most films that just kind of try to do Seven again. I mean, I'm looking at you, The Little Things. For the most part, Spiral follows two detectives who seemingly reach dead end after dead end until a mysterious USB drive shows up and sends them to the next dead end. And I found this cycle to be pretty redundant and disinteresting, which that paired with the, at best, okay social commentary, made me sort of just kind of count the minutes until the next trap, which are honestly, frankly, as abundant as ever. Try as it might, Spiral just does not give this franchise the long-needed jumpstart Lionsgate so desperately wants it to have. Sure, it's a relevant story that is ripe for examination, but it's nowhere near as thorough as it should be, and instead comes off as a bit fuzzy in regards to its perspective. But thankfully for those audience members who are still interested in this franchise, which is nearing its 20th anniversary, this film does deliver on some solid traps, which should be plenty sufficient to satisfy the bloodthirsty fans. So what did you guys think of Spiral, the Book of Saw? Where does it rank in the franchise for you? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, you can click on the link down below, or you can subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie related things. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.